This is an Afghan-style chicken soup, and it might not be what you expect. It's just chicken, vegetables, and herbs, but it's lighter, fresher, and built around balance instead of long cooking and heavy ingredients. Now, that's why this kind of dish is worth sharing, because I wanted to show you that it is possible to build a flavorful and delicious soup from something so simple. It's affordable, a little different, and easy to make. Let's start with the base. In a large pot, add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil and bring that up to a medium heat. I put a little more by accident, but that's okay, you'll see in a bit. Dice or rough chop 1 medium or half of a large onion and add it in with a good pinch of salt. Let that cook for about 4 to 5 minutes until it softens and get a little bit of color. Now add your chicken. I got this organic chicken on sale. It says it's good by today, so I'll use what I can and freeze the rest, but I got a great deal. I'm using about 4 chicken drumsticks and 2 chicken thighs. Bone in, skin on, because bone in, skin on chicken will slowly release the collagen and fat as it cooks, giving the broth more body, richness, and flavor without needing anything extra. And I'm not adding any more oil because I already did, but if it is dry in your pot, add a little bit more oil. I'm salting it because I recommend salting in layers. Just let them sit in there for about 3 to 4 minutes so they get a little bit of color, and I'm making sure to flip it at least once so that the other side can get some color as well. Now add about 5 cups, roughly 1,250 milliliters of, wait for it, water. You could absolutely use chicken broth here, and it will give you a deeper, more immediate flavor, but I actually want to use water for the soup. That's kind of the whole point, keeping this simple and show you one of the reasons I like it so much. It keeps things a little cleaner, and it really lets the chicken, herbs, and the rest of the ingredients do their thing. Also, make sure the chicken is just covered. The veggies we will add later will give off more liquid, so don't worry. I'm going to scrape up anything from the bottom of the pot, also known as fond, which is just chicken fat and flavor. Next in, we're going to add the vegetables. I'm going to save everyone the time of watching me chop, but here's a quick montage. 1 celery stalk, with or without the leaves, sliced, not thin but not thick. 1 large or 3 small carrots, about 150 grams, sliced. 1 zucchini, about 250 grams, sliced in half moons. And I'm adding them into the soup and giving it a swirl. Now I'm adding 2 cans of chickpeas, drained and rinsed, about 800 grams. I've seen recipes with lentils, which you could absolutely do, but I really like chickpeas. Now for the seasoning. That's 1/4 teaspoon ground cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of coriander. This is optional, but it goes really well with the herbs and lemon we're gonna add, and 1/4 teaspoon of black or white pepper, and a big pinch of salt. Bring this up to a boil and then lower it to a gentle simmer. Cover it and let it cook for about 35 to 40 minutes. At this point, my broth is done and the chicken is cooked. I'm gonna pull it out of the pot with some tongs and let them rest for a few minutes to cool down. While it cools slightly, take a potato masher or a large spoon and mash some of the chickpeas right in the pot, maybe about 10% of them. I would normally recommend an immersion blender on soups, but you can go really crazy with that, and the point is to be really restrained. It's a small thing, but it gives the soup a little body, again, without adding anything extra. I'm gonna check on the chicken. It's a little cool and easier to handle, so I'm gonna shred the chicken off the bone, just rough pieces with a couple of forks, and then by hand when I know it's cooler to handle. And then I'm putting it back into the pot. Now comes the part that really, defines this soup from other chicken soups, the herbs and the acid. Finely chop about 1/4 cup of cilantro and 1/4 cup of dill. If it feels like a lot, then you've got the point. If you're new to herby soups, start with about half that amount and work your way up. Add half of that into the soup and let it simmer for another 10 to 15 minutes. Then turn off the heat and add the rest of the herbs. But Alex, why are you adding herbs at 2 different times? Again, this is about making the most of the ingredients. First, we add them to be part of the broth, and then the second time we add them, it's more of an inclusion we add to make the soup taste and feel fresh. It's like that pop of herbs for the spring in the air. Now, I'm gonna finish with a nice squeeze of lemon for some more freshness. I'm gonna taste it and salt it and add a little bit more lemon. The goal is to get it bright without being sour, tangy, not tart, if that makes sense. And that's it. This is one of those soups that doesn't look like much, but it is so simple, quick, easy, and full of flavor. Sometimes the simplest meals are the ones that are often overlooked. And this is a really great reminder that you don't need a long list of crazy ingredients to make something that actually tastes great. I hope you give this a try, and I'll see you in the next one.